When a Morley tobacco whistleblower ends up dead in the comfort of his home, Skinner and the agents pursue.
What seems like a simple revenge case turns into a larger threat. Can the agents find and stop this unknown assailant?
This is not happening.
Episode ripped directly from the headlines, Andrew. Directly from the headlines.
Yes, that was a big deal at the time.
It was. We had several lawsuits with tobacco companies in 2000, including, if I'm not mistaken, Engel versus R.J. Reynolds, which was decided in July of 2000, so just shortly after this episode aired. $145 billion in damages.
And
in favor of the
straight
defendants.
to appeal.
Oh, yeah. Not defendants, I'm sorry. Plaintiffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely straight to appeal.
Litigation for like a bunch of years.
Yeah.
And probably the number was cut down.
Oh, yeah.
That's usually how it works in the American
But I think
system.
the message was sent at that point. Tobacco companies had to be held accountable for their actions.
Well, it's the preponderance of evidence. Like they knew about the harmful effect of their product. So that's not cool.
So the X-Files decided to throw a little spin on that.
And specifically, it's worth pointing out, we have new writers. These are brand new writers to the show. I think they have been story editors up till now, but this is their first kick of the can. This is written by Greg Walker and Stephen Maida, directed by Kim Manners, who is obviously no stranger to the X-Files. But these guys are going to go on and write some episodes in Season 8. And in the case of Stephen Maida, he's going to write for Season 9 as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the after-school special nature of this episode? Did you get that vibe at all?
It wasn't as preachy as it needed to be after
Definitely
school.
Not.
It did not go into that. There is an inherent message there for sure that nicotine is a good insecticide. But other than that, I didn't take it as an after-school special. I guess the question I would have is, how would smokers react to this? Were you ever a smoker? Did you ever smoke?
I was not, but my dad was.
And the same is true here. I was never a smoker. Dad was. I think that's probably why we did not become smokers. Was because our parents were smokers. I'm wondering.
And I think the education was there too. There's obviously
absolutely.
The information was much different when I was growing up in the 80s versus when my father was growing up.
Where it was a case of, what cigarette will you smoke that is good for your health? Yeah. No, I think that's definitely a factor. I think that smokers would probably react negatively to this episode. Because the smoker that is the villain is definitely not portrayed in a flattering light.
Well, I mean, I think they could have approached it in a way where there were other smokers in the episode that weren't assholes. That may have softened it a little bit, but I'll tell you what they did need. They needed CSM to be at the helm of this company here.
If ever there was an episode where he should have guest starred, this is the one. I mean, This is his company.
I keep you guys in business.
That's right.
Oh, man.
A missed opportunity, to be sure.
Yeah.
But then again, I guess he's already had his opus in the one that we did recently with. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, we didn't need to see him again. I don't think he shows up again in season 7.
He does.
He does?
He does.
All right. Well,
I feel like I can't tell you now because
it's like I've never seen these episodes for the first time. Yeah. All right. Well, are you ready? I mean, are we ready to light this episode up? Are we going to make sure there aren't any filters on our discussion?
There will be no filters. These will be 100% potent. I hope your lungs can take it because Skinner's busting out his cigarette wrapping machine.
Oh, yeah. Well, Mike, let's spark up some chaos so you get burned.
Spark up some chaos. Well, that spark is going to create billowing smoke, Andrew, from a chimney of the large 2-story home in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It's the Scobie residence. The camera pulls back from the smoke down and away from the house to reveal agents walking perimeter. Inside is Skinner with the residents, a husband and wife who look bothered. He urges them to relax while he closes the blinds. As he advises them on general safety, Mrs. Scobie sarcastically asks if they need permission to use the bathroom. The FBI's job is to protect them, but she can't take it. How long? A week? A month? She goes to sit next to her husband and urges him not to testify. It's not worth it, but he simply tells her he has to do this. Defeated, she goes off to bed. Mr. Scobie begins coughing a little bit, and an agent hands him a glass of water. The camera lingers on him. He coughs a little harder, as if something is lodged in his throat. After a moment of contemplation, he sets the water down and gets up, but something's not right. A swirl of red in the glass as the camera pulls in. It's blood, and worse yet, a bug is in it, writhing around on its back. Later that evening, 4 a.m, Mrs. Scobie stirs. She's confused to find her bed empty and calls to her husband.
Jim?
No answer. She heads to the bathroom and calls again.
Jim?
Something's blocking the door from the inside. Things escalate quickly as she begins to fear the worst and calls for
Mr. Skinner?
He rushes in with the agents and begins trying to open the door. He shoves it slowly open to reveal Mr. Scobie lying face down on the bathroom tile. Skinner kneels down and cautiously rolls him over. What they see next horrifies everyone. Mr. Scobie's flesh is eaten away from his jawline to down his throat, revealing bone and cartilage in a bloody mess along the way. Mrs. Scobie screams for her husband as Skinner silently laments another failed mission. Credits.
My win rate just went down.
So
that was a hell of an opening.
That's a good opening, and I love the visual effects there. They did a really good job on that. That was grody.
That was very grody. I mean, starting with coughing up a live bug. I mean, I know that was some good trickery, but foreshadowing some, that was pretty gross. Poor Skinner.
Poor Skinner. He just can't. He's got an agent who goes off on kooky missions and he gets him into all sorts of legal trouble. And when he's tasked with the mission himself, he fails.
Well, speaking of legal trouble, I had some lingering thoughts of why is the FBI protecting this man? I mean, I guess
I don't know the jurisdiction of that kind of thing, but I would imagine in a well, let's go back to what we were referencing earlier. There were federal cases against the tobacco companies in 2000. So maybe Scobie's testimony was going to aid a federal case. And
well, it must have been a federal case for the FBI to get involved. And I could see it if Morley sells products across multiple state lines, that makes it federal. But I guess my issue would be, like, if you're taking a company to court, like you're prosecuting the company. I mean, sure, there are going to be actors in that company that don't want anything bad to happen to their company, so they're going to fight back, and that's where, you're going to take out the whistleblower. But there must have been something else that's not in this episode that we don't see. The reason that prompted the protective custody. There must have been death threats and such, because the link to the villain is tenuous at best. It is established later that Scobie's death is ultimately accidental. It wasn't a hit.
Yeah.
But they very much want it to feel like it is, this very cunning hit that's been carried out. So to me, that's the setting they're creating here. The stage that they're setting up is.
I think it comes down ultimately to what Brimley says the first time he meets him, or he meets the agents. It's like his death couldn't come at a worse time because it makes us look bad, like we would have set a hit out on him. But that's ultimately what it is they didn't set a hit out, and now all this investigation is being done in wake of that death. Yeah.
It would have been easier for them. Like, ultimately, I think they got enough lawyers. They're going to win in court, is their feeling. So they don't need to kill the whistleblower. And it does, as you say, make them look bad. So yeah, it's an interesting setup. It's amazing SFX. So yeah, good stuff so far. I'm in. Yeah.
The next morning, the agents arrive to a bustling crime scene at the house. Inside, Skinner is on the phone with his superior, getting his ear bitten off. Mrs. Scobie is escorted out of the room as she glares at Skinner. The call ends as the agents enter. Skinner is obviously stressed and upset as he takes the agents upstairs to the crime scene.
There's fingerprints everywhere, but as they all belong to the deceased and his wife, they don't help us.
This is where the body was found?
Yeah. What can you tell us about it? Dr. James Scobie, age 44, R&D biochemist with Morley Tobacco. If he were alive as of 26 minutes ago, he'd be giving testimony against his former employer before a federal grand jury.
Testimony concerning what?
Not even his wife or his lawyer know the specifics. Only that it concerns research that he was involved in. Potentially extremely damaging to Morley. Enough so that Scobie had received death threats. Given the high-profile nature of the case, the director charged me with ensuring Dr. Scobie's protection.
You think that someone made good on these threats?
I do. But we've yet to determine how someone got in here, or what killed him.
Can't blow the whistle with a mouth like that.
It's almost as if his flesh has been stripped or eaten away. I mean, an assailant could have thrown acid on him.
Well, if it was acid in the face, he would have screamed bloody murder.
We're looking at all possibilities, Agent. We need answers, we don't have a lot of time, and we're going up against one of the biggest corporations in America. The director himself personally instructed me that he wants this case closed as swiftly as possible. I trust I can count on your help. All right, I want you to perform the autopsy. The body's in the county morgue.
We'll get right on it.
Thank you.
As Scully leaves, Mulder and Skinner head back downstairs to have another conversation. Despite working at Morley Tobacco, the Scobies did not smoke, and Mulder comments on the unusual nature of that. It's like a GM employee driving a Ford. And at this moment, Andrew, I want to take you all the way back to
I knew you were going to do a call out here.
in season 2, where Scully makes a very similar comment about that, about a tobacco company employee not smoking. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, nice callback. It may be an homage from Maida and Walker.
Yeah. Mulder feels if this was a hit, it was unnecessarily high profile, and Skinner notes maybe it's a way to intimidate other witnesses. Scobie's supervisor at work, Mr. Voss, is next on Skinner's list of people to talk to, and Mulder asks to tag along. Skinner gets called away, and Mulder pokes around a bit. He comes across the glass of water Mr. Scobie was drinking out of the night before. Curiously, on the bottom of the glass is a dead beetle. Ugh.
Yeah, classic.
Well, we're going now to Morley Tobacco headquarters. Mulder and Skinner arrive at the headquarters. The security desk asks if they have an appointment, and they flash their badges. Again, he asks,
"Do you have an appointment?"
They look at each other and flash their badges once more. Mulder kind of stretching his arm out a little bit more in a smart-assy way, which I appreciated. Before the desk can respond, a man calls to them down the hall. Daniel Brimley introduces himself as head of corporate security. He assumes they're there concerning Scobie's death, and the man expresses sincere sadness over the passing. Mulder notes there's no hard feelings about the man who was about to testify against the company. Brimley admits, while they wish that he had chosen a different path, the timing of his death couldn't be worse. Skinner asks to speak to Dr. Voss, and Brimley obliges. Whatever we can do to help.
What a nice guy.
Yeah, very, very helpful dude.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine there's anything nefarious going on here.
Oh, no. No, it's all very above board.
Oh, yeah. The next shot is of a table, a long, long table in a conference room of equal length. 9 Morley employees sit on one side of it, Mulder and Skinner across from them in an image reminiscent of a number of FBI interrogations.
I should tell, I think there's one Morley employee there, and the other 8 are the lawyers.
Probably all the
retained by Morley.
I don't doubt that, now that you mention it.
Yeah.
Dr. Voss asks them to give his condolences to Mrs. Scobie and asks how she's doing. Mulder keeps it real, stating she'll find comfort in knowing why her husband died. Skinner inquires as to what Scobie was going to testify against. It had something to do with company research. Unfortunately, though, the company lawyer speaks for Voss, indicating he'd be violating employee confidentiality by answering that question. Pivoting, Skinner asks about Voss's friendship to him, but then he demoted him by taking him off a project. And once again, the lawyer insists Voss cannot answer questions about the details. Voss is notably uncomfortable, but is it with the questions or with the lawyer? Skinner has had enough and threatens a federal warrant if they don't begin answering, but the lawyer calls the bluff and ends the meeting. As the right side of the table begins excusing themselves, Mulder takes the evidence packet from his coat jacket and asks Dr. Voss to identify something, flinging the baggie across the table to reveal a dead bug inside. Voss identifies it as a run-of-the-mill tobacco beetle, something very common in these parts. The lawyer asks Mulder where he's going with this, but like the lawyer, he can't reveal too much for fear of violating the FBI's confidentiality. Skinner sticks a tongue in his cheek and suppresses laughter as he and Mulder high-five at that righteous zing.
And there's a freeze frame.
Saved by the bell.
Yeah.
Oh, Mulder, you smartass.
You smartass. Listen, those lawyers are going to get a lot of hate in this episode, but they're doing their jobs.
They're
Come
doing
on.
what they got to do.
Guy's got an NDA. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't hold anything against the lawyers. They're not doing anything wrong per se. That guy's always there when the questions come around, so it's like, shut up.
I really wanted, I would have made it too funny, but I would have loved this scene every time Skinner and Mulder ask a question, Voss starts to ask, and then the lawyer leans over and like whispers in his ear, and it's a long conversation, and then Voss says, yes,
Yes.
And they ask another question, and no.
For God's sake.
I think that would have been quite funny, but it's not exactly what this episode calls for. It is not about the funny in this episode.
No. This one's a little bit more serious. Later that misty night, Dr. Voss arrives home and pulls into his garage, headlights beaming through the fog. As he parks, he looks deep in contemplation about the situation. He gets out and then sees a figure walking up his driveway. It's an older gentleman, rough around the edges. Voss knows him and asks what he's doing here. The man says he's run out of smokes, a gravelly voice. Dr. Scobie and he had an arrangement, and now that he's dead, well, he figures the arrangement slides on over to Voss. Uncomfortable, Voss sets his briefcase on his car and opens it. He grabs 2 cartons of cigarettes and hands them to the man, who almost shrugs it off. That won't hold me. Voss understands. He'll bring him more, but asks him not to come to his home anymore. The man's gravelly voice notes,
seems everybody's acting funny around me all of a sudden.
It's too bad about Dr. Scobie. Face to face now, the light casts ominous shadows on the older man's wrinkled skin. In his cryptic way, he tells Voss he's been working on a theory as to how he died, and he'd love to share it with him. Voss again asks him to leave, and the man obliges.
I don't want to wear out my welcome.
After all, we'll be seeing a lot of each other, I expect.
I have a question about this moment.
Yeah.
Is Voss giving Weaver cartons of the brand X cigarette?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because it's what he wants? I don't know.
I mean, I guess the implication is that Weaver knows that this is, what am I trying to say? He knows that there is a cover-up and that his payoff is to get cigarettes, but not just any cigarettes, Mike, the special death-dealing cigarettes.
Yeah. I don't know that it is because they kill people that he wants them. I think it's... it might be a way to hold something over them.
I mean, Voss could simply say, listen, that strain died off. We can't make any more.
Right.
You can spin your tail if you want, but we're not gonna supply you with any more of these things that tend to kill people. Literally.
Well, I mean, it could be part of the cover-up is that they're still continuing to produce these things because, I mean, Scobie was going to pull the plug, but Voss wasn't. He was still participating in the research. He wanted to fix the problem, but he was still on the company's side per se.
So you think he was continuing the research with Weaver because Weaver has this immunity? So he makes
because
it possible
I
to
think
do research.
Scobie was going to pull the plug. Voss, working with him, wanted to fix the problem, figure out a way to find a solution despite, the 3 deaths. That's the cover up. We can't let people know they've died this way. How do we fix this problem? I don't know. It could be a giant plot hole.
No, it could be, but I think I like where your head's at. And I like where I was going. It could have been solved with a little bit more plot, like a few more pages that let us get into that. I think maybe what's missing is Weaver is addicted to these cigarettes and will die if he doesn't get them or something.
I think that's the implication. I don't know.
When he says that won't hold me, and he really looks quite grave about it. I think there's something there, but it never comes to anything.
Yeah, they definitely don't say as much. But yeah, that is kind of the vibe I get from it. He has some sort of attachment that goes beyond just being a smoker.
Yeah, he needs those cigarettes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, at the Forsyth County morgue, it's 8:02 p.m. Scully has found tissue damage in the man's lungs. It's not a corrosive agent of any kind. His airways have been reamed out. Scobie died of hypoxemia, the inability to transfer oxygen from the lungs to the bloodstream. And Skinner is in disbelief. He choked to death? Someone had to do this to him. But Mulder suggests maybe not. There are no signs of struggle and no evidence of anyone being in the bathroom. Mulder asks Scully if she found a tobacco beetle in her autopsy, flicking out the packet once more. Skinner isn't buying it. He's not going to tell the director Killer Bugs did this. But Mulder states that, judging by Voss's reaction to the question earlier, it is the only thing they need to be investigating.
It is Mulder. He does have a ability.
Skinner, you might not know this, but every time I come up with a theory, it's right.
He's legit nailing the plot, though. So, I mean, come on. Give the guy his due.
Yeah. Well, downtown Winston-Salem, it's evening, the bad part of town. A rundown building of various businesses, one of which is Abbott Mansions, affordable apartments for the lower class.
Wait, hold on. They do not say that. It is not on the sign.
It's not on the sign, no, but
it should be
real here. That should be the tagline for it. Abbott Mansions.
The cheapest apartments in all of Winston-Salem.
It's not exactly private, but who cares?
Yeah, exactly. You'll make so many friends here.
Inside his apartment is the older gentleman, Daryl Weaver, watching an old black and white war movie and having himself another smoke. The camera pans behind him to show a vent on the opposite wall. Weaver's neighbor reads a magazine at his table and starts to smell smoke. An ongoing issue, he charges to the wall of the adjoining apartment and begins pounding and yelling at Weaver.
How many times I gotta say it? No smoking!
Weaver's argument is to yell back,
America, man! E pluribus,
He trails off, unsure of the ending. His angry neighbor threatens to get him kicked out, but in the middle of the confrontation, he begins coughing violently.
Do you think that maybe the actor who played Daryl Weaver came up with that E pluribus thing on the fly?
I like it. It's funny.
It's amazing, and it has that feel to it.
What's that saying?
The line is just, "It's America, man. I got it right." And he, on take 7 decided to just throw that in there. And then the producer's like, "Oh, yeah, we're using that."
That's a tagline for you, sir.
Yeah.
Well, with another series of coughs, he puts a hand to his mouth and sees crimson streams all over it. Bleeding. From Weaver's apartment, he continues to sit and listens as his neighbor thuds to the ground. Confrontation over. He continues his movie, snuffing out his cigarette. With a sting from Snow's score, the camera cuts to the other man's floor. Hundreds of beetles trail across it, leading directly to the man, collapsed. He's covered in beetles, and the flesh of his face is being eaten off.
So is this callback to F. Emasculata?
I mean, it could be in a way. I can't say that for every time we see bugs now, But
or better yet, callback to Darren Morgan's episode. What the hell? The cockroach episode.
Come on, you got it.
I really do. I don't, though.
Come on, you got this one.
You don't have it. That's the problem. You're
I don't
casting
have
the
it?
blame on me, but you don't have it either.
How
Yeah,
do
I
I
see.
not have it? I'm
I don't
not.
know.
I'm not searching anything. I know the episode. I'm going to let you figure it out. Season 3. It's one of the best episodes. Come on, you got this. I
know.
believe in you.
So many episodes, man. So many words.
So many episodes.
It has Bambi in it. Her name is Bambi.
Well, the next morning, all 3 agents are there investigating the man's death. Scully assumes what they're seeing is exactly what killed Scobie. Skinner notes he's not a corporate whistleblower, though. Thomas Gistel. Expired ID, food stamps, court-ordered anger management, and completion certificate. Mulder heads to the wall nearby and begins trying to pick up one of the few remaining beetles. He puts one in another packet. Neither of the men were murdered. They were killed by beetles. There's a window nearby. The rest of them could have escaped. Scully thinks this theory of killer bugs is a long shot, but it's possible there's some contagious agent, an insect-borne bacterium. It might lead to other victims in the building. We cut to Mulder knocking on the nearby apartment. Weaver answers, and Mulder flashes his badge. The man, dressed in a wife beater and jeans, lets Mulder into his grimy apartment. He informs him of Thomas Gastal, but Weaver only knows his voice. He yelled that he smoked too much, once again botching the motto. Weaver heads to his corner bed and sits to grab a smoke, asking if Mulder's okay with it, and he is. Mulder notes the man doesn't seem bothered by his death, but he nonchalantly says he guesses his number came up. He's glad it's not him. Did anything else weird happen? Well, the Korean fella down the hall dresses like Wonder Woman every night. And Mulder specifies other than that. Weaver takes a puff and a moment to capitalize on the opportunity. There wouldn't be a reward or anything for information, would there? And the agent lets him down gently.
Ain't that always the way?
Indicating he knows something, Weaver takes a breath.
No, but my mind is just drawn a complete blank.
Mulder offers his card and leaves.
My card.
He meets the party back in the hall. They haven't come up with any solutions. The only thing to go on is this bug. Scully knows an entomologist at UNC Wilmington, and meanwhile, Mulder heads off on his own.
War of the Copperphages.
There you go.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Brain. I'm sorry,
Googled
I
that, didn't you?
wasn't listening to you for the last 10 minutes because I was like, no, kidding. I listened. Oh, thank God. Okay, yeah,
How do
that
you feel
was
so far about the interchange.
It's good. Here's a question I have. Does Weaver know of his power at this point?
I think he does.
Okay, so he's
worked it out. I think he legitimately has not been told anything, which is why he threatened Voss. You know, I've been working on a theory, and I want to share it with you because he knows it can be damning to. He wants Voss to know that he knows, that kind of thing.
Okay, so that means Weaver is a psychopath because he is casually killing people by just deciding to smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Like he literally lights one up with Mulder there and then asks if there's a reward. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
If you knew what you were doing was going to result in the death of somebody and you were responsible, would you maybe have a second thought about doing that thing?
I mean, I think he is just a psychopath. And if he doesn't know at this point,
yeah,
it feels like he does. I don't know.
It does feel like he does.
Yeah.
I mean, the plot
I've always been on the
Mulder's going to get sick. Yeah, but I kind of wish he didn't know. I kind of wish this was an innocent. Yeah, but I'm just smoking. You know, it doesn't mean anything. Everybody smokes. But no, that doesn't happen here. Yeah. Definitely, there's an implication. I think that he knows.
I do want to, since I haven't mentioned it yet, I have to tip my hat to Tobin Bell, who plays Weaver. He is
he's great.
Wonderful actor. People probably know him as Jigsaw in the Saw movie. But
if you're interested in that kind of movie,
the first one was all right. After that, it was just gore porn.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous, but
yeah.
Oh, But from here, Mulder stops by the Voss mansion, and his wife answers the door, and we see that Voss is doing very well. The doctor steps outside with Mulder, and they exchange some words. Mulder informs him of the new death, and Voss is bothered. He's sorry to hear about the man's death. Mulder shows him another beetle and tells him he believes that this is what killed Thomas. Maybe these particular bugs aren't herbivores. Once again, Voss decides to hide behind the lawyer and leaves. But the agent leaves him with a thought. How many people have to die before you do the right thing? Voss watches as Mulder leaves. His phone rings and he answers. A secretive voice on the other end. What did he want? It's Brimley. Voss is incensed he's being watched, but Brimley clarifies he's just looking out for him. Voss informs the man of the recent death. He wants to come forward with what they know. This has gone on long enough. Brimley wants to know how to get in touch with Weaver. This is his mess, and he's going to clean it up. Voss tells him he doesn't know how to get a hold of Weaver, but we do get the sense he's lying.
So Brimley is not going to go kill Weaver. But Voss is protecting him? I guess he's still hot in the research. He's like...
I guess he's... It's kind of a weird character. I don't know how to feel about Voss sometimes, because he is protecting Weaver, but at the same time, he knows Weaver is kind of holding him hostage. So I don't know.
I think his tone changes slightly at the end of the next scene. Like, I think he will change his tune to be like, okay, if you're not going to get out of town and bad things are going to happen to you, maybe I'm okay with that now because you're extorting me. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Scully's at the lab with the entomologist, Dr. Libby Nance.
This doesn't make sense.
What doesn't make sense?
Well, it's a Lacioderma saracona, a tobacco beetle. Only, I've never seen one exactly like this.
What are the differences?
Physical differences. Minor, but definitely notable. Deviations in the mandibles, the antennae, the body segmentation.
What if such deviations arose from genetic engineering?
Engineering the bugs themselves.
No, I was actually thinking about another possibility. Transgenomics.
Which is?
It's a form of DNA manipulation, alterations made on the genetic level.
It is pretty widely known that tobacco companies have been pouring money into that kind of research. Changing the tobacco plant itself in order to make it hardier. Give it less nicotine, more nicotine. Make it naturally menthol flavored. You name it.
A form of what? Super tobacco?
Which possibly could have created super bugs. I guess the real question is, could they have become dangerous to humans?
It's that time, everyone. The Magus Media Production sales pitch. Please check out our homepage at magusmediaproductions.net so you can stay up to date on all of our shows. Check out our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Magus Media Productions, both of which have our Discord link on it, where you can join us for live shows as we record them for future release. At Magus Media Prods on X, our Patreon, patreon.com/MagusMedia, where a $5 donation will help us keep the lights on and bringing you new content, and you get some stickers. Thank you for your consideration and support.
Well, maybe they're dangerous to humans, maybe.
I think that question's being answered.
I think it is. So now Scully has a superpower.
Yep. Voss knocks on Weaver's apartment door, but the man surprises him from down the hall.
Sorry, Doc, no vacancy.
He asks about the caution tape on Weaver's neighbor's door, but he claims ignorance. He doesn't know anything. He's just a guinea pig. They enter, and the doctor hands him an envelope with $4,000 in it to leave town. Weaver jests about not doing his part for science if he does, though. The $4,000 is a start, but he makes no indication he's about to leave, and Voss implores him to. But Weaver has a good thing going. He's got cash and all the cigarettes he wants. As he slips one into his mouth, Voss gets nervous. This particular brand, he continues, doesn't do anyone else any favors. He flicks open his Zippo towards Voss, who jumps, eyes locked on the flame licking at the tip of the cigarette. Would it bother you if I lit one up? After a moment, Weaver clinks it shut and opens the door for the doctor. Voss pleads with him again. Morley is a multi-billion-dollar company, and they won't let you endanger that. They'll kill him.
Well, it sounds like a Darrell Weaver problem to me.
Voss leaves down the hall, and out from the shadows, opposite, is Brimley, who has followed his friend, and he ominously looks at Weaver's door.
Oh, they're not friends, Mike. They are not friends.
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore. I think Brimley wants to think he's a ninja, but he's about to be schooled.
He does. Yep. He is. He gets overtaken quickly.
Yeah.
As Scully performs another autopsy, this time on Thomas's lung and bronchus, she shows Skinner a cavity infested with mealworms doubling as larvae. Mulder comes in. She offers to show him, but he gets one look and sits at the other end of the room. Skinner wonders why Scobie's lungs didn't show the same condition. She surmises that they pupate and then exit the body en masse. But how did they get there in the first place? A cough from Mulder's side of the room. It starts off light and then gets more violent. Like Thomas, he puts a hand to his mouth to cover it. Scully and Skinner come over. Mulder pulls it back to reveal a few streams of blood dripping down his palm. Climax.
Oh, no. It's consumption.
It's consumption.
He's a Southern Belle.
Well, yeah. After commercial, we were going straight to Ashford Medical Center. Mulder's undergoing an operation. Emergency suction down his throat as doctors and nurses work diligently. Close-ups of the tubes show larvae being slowly sucked out of his body and into a milky receptacle. That is disgusting, by the way.
That is very gross. Yeah. It is on brand for this episode. On brand X, as you would say.
Yeah, on brand X. Nice. Scully looks on in shock as her partner lay helpless. She greets Skinner in the hall and updates him. There's no telling how many are in there. Mulder's pulmonary tissue is riddled with them. Unsure of how eggs got in there, she offers the theory that maybe he inhaled them. If those genetic beetles somehow created eggs that survived the processing into cigarettes, burning of the cigarettes, like spores or pollen, could hitch a ride in the air to their next destination. But neither Mulder nor Scobie were smokers. Andrew.
The dangers of secondhand smoke. Mike, at this point, I should wonder, why hasn't Scully considered an alternative form of healing to help her partner in this case?
She doesn't hold her hands over his throat or lungs.
She considered his throat chakra.
I was waiting for her to lean over, like hold his hand, take it in hers, and kind of lean over to his ear and go, "What decision aren't you okay with?
What guilt have you not let go of?
Was it the black socks and the blue suit? What is it?
Is this still about the guilt you feel about your sister? I mean, I thought we dealt with that like 6 episodes ago.
She's dead, Mulder. Let her go.
Just let her go again, honestly. Yeah, guaranteed I will bring that up in every episode where there is a medical emergency.
Strap in, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, get ready.
At the Morley Tobacco Agricultural Research Division, Skinner charges into the offices with a federal warrant, as promised. He hands it to the lawyer and confronts Voss. Speaking to Mulder's condition, he asks for his help. The lawyer once again refuses to let his client speak. Getting in his face, Skinner barks, "This isn't about Morley or your research, it's about saving lives." "That's what we were trying to do," Voss says to the protest of his counsel. "This has gone on long enough." Skinner takes a seat. They knew people would never stop smoking, no matter what the consequences, so they aimed to create a safer cigarette. Bullshit. Skinner fills in the blanks, but you engineered the bugs as well. Initially, there were no problems, but after a few months, things got bad. There were 4 test subjects, and 3 of them died. Scobie was going to testify about the deaths. Voss, however, wanted to correct the mistakes and move forward. Scobie was monitoring the focus group, and that's how he must have gotten infected. But Skinner circles back. "You said there were 4 subjects. What happened to the 4th? In a quick cut, with a slamming door, Weaver's door swings open, crashing against its wall. Skinner and another agent, guns drawn, enter the residence and clear it. Skinner sees Brimley in a chair in the kitchen, tied up, bloodied. Voss enters the apartment and sees his friend. He was there to get Weaver, but it looks like Weaver got to him first.
I think Weaver made him smoke a cigarette because the number of bugs that come out of that guy's mouth.
Yeah. As Skinner unties the man's gag, Brimley can't speak, his mouth agape, eyes terrified. Suddenly, hundreds of beetles begin skittering out of the man's mouth. Icky.
Do you think, Mike, it is protocol for an assistant director to lead a tactical entry into an apartment?
No, but this is his case, goddammit. He's going to take charge. He's going to make sure this gets done.
He's taking it personally.
The no name in the back is who he's protecting.
Yeah. You know, it was the movie Seven which made me sort of reevaluate cop shows and just how they treated the dichotomy between SWAT guys and detectives. Like the SWAT guys go and clear the scene. And then when they're done, they call for the dicks, you know?
Right.
And I thought, yeah, that is probably the better course rather than the heroes are the one to do the charging. Because like the heroes are the ones that are going to take the bullets, you know, leading the charge. So
yeah, they get it right in some episodes. They do not get it right in others. I would say they do get it right in, like, say, The Field Where I Died at the beginning, where they breach the compound. No Name's going first with tactical gear, and then Scully and Mulder walk in. But yeah,
I think they just didn't have the time in production for you know, a full TAC team, and that, you know, it was a means to an end. You know, they needed to establish that Weaver was gone, and that Brimley was now also going to be gone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a bit of an oversight though.
Weaver pulls into a gas station in Brimley's car. The rebel he he ignored the no smoking sign on the fuel pump and lights up anyway.
In a gas station. I mean, a psychopath for sure.
You know what? That's the least of his psychopathic things to do. I have seen this done multiple times in my life. So, you know what? Not off-brand X for America.
I'm just going to go to the Shell. I don't like the gas here. Yep.
He heads into the convenience store. And when the clerk tells him calmly there's no smoking in the building, Weaver takes silent offense and decides to move in closer. He leans in and pays the man to go get him some brews.
It doesn't pay him to get the brews is the best part. He pays him to shut up about telling me I can't smoke in here.
Right.
It's like...
But he's killing him. Right. He knows he's killing him. Like, that has to be a purposeful act. He had no reason to get that close. And you can see the wheels turning before he approaches him. Like, I'm going to kill this kid.
Can. He is such... If the guy didn't say no smoking, do you think he would have
He would have probably finished the cigarette and flicked it out the door or something. But yeah, this guy is all about power, I think.
I think he just does not give a shit. He's like,
that's true.
This guy's going to die in a couple of days. I'm not going to be here. You know, this guy's number's up. That's it.
Yep.
Such a weird character.
The clerk notices radio chatter outside and sees a patrol car. Officers are searching Brimley's car. When he looks back, Weaver is gone.
So
magical vanishing act.
Yeah.
As the X-Files does. There's only one entrance.
I was going to call this out too. Weaver
you see him like sliding against the fucking fun-sized chip bags, trying to get out of the door.
Oh, yeah. The classic.
Back at the hospital, Mulder lays in bed. Scully comes in to see him. She holds his hand. He makes a joke. His voice is light, almost imperceptible. She informs him of Daryl Weaver and his connection to the case, but before she can get too far, Mulder begins having issues breathing. His monitors alarm with increased heart rate. He can't draw air. They call Code Blue and the nurses bring in equipment. Scully looks to the mask that has been put on Mulder's face and sees a beetle crawling around inside. Icky!
Okay, so a couple things there. Scully has not had much luck at hospitals lately.
The last week or two, people just go into cardiac arrest around her, which is a statement to Gillian Anderson.
Yeah.
That's written in her contract. Someone has to have trouble finding reality when I'm around.
Yeah.
Have trouble breathing because I am just that cool.
Heart troubles, which I get to restart. Mm-hmm. They now have their live bug specimen, though. so they can go and verify whether or not it actually will eat human flesh.
She just keeps it in there with Mulder's lips. Just see what happens.
There's no better way to run science than just to let the thing do the thing.
Just let it happen. Heisenbergian, if you will.
Yes, it's very good.
Observation only. Later on, the situation has calmed a bit. Scully looks on again as Mulder lies in bed quietly. The doctor brings her x-rays which show larvae in his lungs. There are more than before now. It looks hopeless. The doctor suggests going in again, but this time opening Mulder's chest. She vehemently refuses. He is way too weak for that and he could die. Out of options, she chooses just to wait for now, because that's an option. I don't know. I mean, at a minimum, I think they should go in there with a tube and just keep him suctioning, but I don't know.
Keep sucking. Yeah. Well, I think the point they're making there is you can't.
It's a losing battle.
Yeah. You can't get them out. You can get some, but you can't get them all. So go into the chest and you'll get a different angle or something.
I guess. I mean, they could definitely. I don't see him coming out of this either way, but whatever.
I am amazed. No, I'll save it for final thoughts. I'm just amazed that it takes them so long to come up with the answer, because it boggles me. I feel like this was such an easy solution, but they're like, no, we got to suck them out of him. It's like, really?
Skinner arrives at the Voss residence with the other agents to protect the family. To Skinner's dismay, Voss is not present. He never made it home, and he's not answering his phone. Another quick cut. He heads to Morley Tobacco and enters the research department. It's dark and quiet as sprinklers mist the test plants. Skinner has his gun drawn and moves from place to place, clearing the room. He eyes Voss on the ground, sitting, tending to a wound on his face. The doctor points him to Weaver, who shows himself on the other end of the room.
He took the test cigarettes. I couldn't stop him.
Stop right there!
Why? You gonna shoot me?
I'm not gonna let you go and infect more people.
You're gonna let me do whatever I want to do. Dr. Voss here tells me you need me. You need me to save your boy.
Don't do it.
They say these things kill people, you know? Any brand, sooner or later. You know, it doesn't have to be that way. I think Dr. Voss is really onto something with his research. I do.
It's over, Weaver. I'm through.
Oh. Come on now, I mean, you gotta figure. The first car killed a bunch of people before they perfected it. Because it's all just part of the scientific process, you know.
Mr. Weaver, I will shoot you.
No, you won't. A regular damn scientific marvel. They're gonna study me, they're gonna write scientific papers about me. I could be the cure for cancer. Me, Darrell Weaver. You ain't gonna shoot me. Toodles.
Wow.
Yeah, he takes the
So
shot.
he will shoot him, but only after some significant monologuing.
Yeah. A lot of gaps there in dialogue, but he could have taken a shot way earlier than that. I will say this is probably my least favorite scene. Not because of the monologue. Tobin Bell does great. But because if we are to believe the smoke carries the eggs, Skinner and Voss are not far enough away.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I would love to think
bothers me.
I would love to think that Voss has made some different cigarettes at this point.
I hope so.
That's the only thing that works for me in terms of how Skinner and Voss are now on. Well, I suppose they're going to get the miracle cure at the end, maybe. But
yeah,
I think a better pace for this scene would have been to save the lighting up for him at the end. Like,
yeah,
you're not
like
gonna shoot
save
me.
it until he goes for the door. And he lights up, turns, and reaches for the door or something. Not at the beginning of his monologue.
Yeah, I mean, I like how it amps up the stress factors, like, oh, now he's done it, but it just makes Skinner look weak, like he can't decide, but then he does decide, but he decides at the wrong moment. So,
yeah,
just weird pacing in that scene.
Weird pacing. Well, at the hospital, Mulder isn't doing so hot, and Skinner arrives with Weaver. They wheel him into the operating room. Scully here spots Weaver's nicotine-stained fingers and gets an idea. She orders Mulder be treated with nicotine. We cut now to 2 weeks later. Scully comes into Mulder's office, finding him typing away at his computer. His voice is still strained from the treatment. Morley Tobacco has subpoenaed the FBI's files on the case. They're very interested in Mulder's recovery. Weaver's doing better, and he's been transported to a correctional facility. He was the heaviest smoker of the focus group at 4 packs a day. Nicotine is what was keeping Weaver alive and is what saved Mulder. Once they loaded up his system with enough of it, it poisoned the insects. That's not all it did, Mulder says. He crosses the room to his desk and pulls out a pack of Marleys. He picked them up on the way to work. Scully is horrified at the notion he might begin smoking. Mulder takes a moment and then tosses the unopened pack into the trash. Pleased, she summons him up to Skinner's office and leaves. Mulder, seated at his desk, takes a moment to contemplate and peers over into the trash. With an extended beat and tense strings hinting at danger, we fade to black. Will he be tempted by the cancer sticks?
I think he will. That is
Tune
just
in
the
next
only way. Well, unless we have a Brand X Part 2 sequel in the future,
Brand
that's
XY.
maybe what they were hoping for.
I don't think they were
cigarettes.
actually hoping for a sequel to this.
If they wanted a sequel, they would have written in a second epilogue showing Daryl Weaver in correctional saying, I'm just dying for a cigarette.
I'm just... He's talking to Cecil Lively.
That's right. They're sharing a cell.
I'm just dying for a cigarette.
Hey, this guy can he can make cigarettes light up just by looking at him. He's amazing. He's going to show me how to do it. Yeah.
That would be awesome. All right, Andrew. How did Brand X treat you?
Here it comes. This is a good one. Yeah, Daryl Weaver is a really good villain, though I had a hard time seeing him as the villain when the episode was trying so hard to make Morley to be the villain, especially through its lawyers, who are probably the most villainous and unlikable characters in the entire episode. And they're just trying to do the goddamn job. So if I have one other gripe, it's that Scully doesn't hit on the solution faster. I mean, he's got bugs in his lungs and they can't figure out a way to poison them. And Mike, it turns out, do you remember during early COVID, ivermectin? Do you remember that drug? Okay, well, this was one of a few suggestions made by certain people, kooks you might call them.
Oh, wait. Okay. I think I know where you're going with this.
It is a much maligned drug in that context, but it turns out it is an effective anti-parasitic agent, excellent against things like bed bugs, because you put it in you, the bed bugs take a bite out of you, and then they die from the ivermectin. So Mulder breathes in a little bit of some of that, and all the bugs die. I mean, that would have been a pretty straightforward thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would like to know how long the treatment took for Mulder to come out and be released from the hospital. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I know that they're very coy about those details.
Well, I just think like, okay, so what? They injected him or put an IV nicotine drip in his... Like, how long did it take for this to take effect? Because, I mean, at that point, his body was riddled, or his lungs at least, were riddled with larvae. So
and where did they go when they die?
How did he keep them? Well, that's another thing. You know, did he vomit them up or poop them out? I don't know.
Well, neither, because vomiting and pooping would be in the digestive system.
No, I know, but
so this is hacking.
I don't know. It could, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
forget it.
I mean, I do appreciate the circular nature of the plot and intervention. Like, she recognizes the nicotine and the cigarettes are going to be both the problem and the cure. It's a nice twist, and I will give them credit for that. I just feel like, again, they have to write the characters a certain way to make the plot work, but I think they could probably, she's smart enough so they could have figured that out earlier.
Yeah. Well, you're kind of where I was with the...
More of the copperphages?
Pine Bluff variant.
Pine Bluff variant.
Pine Bluff variant. Where the big reveal that I feel it took Scully way too long to get to was that the money was the one thing everyone at the movie theater touched.
Yeah.
I feel like, man, you really sat on that one, Scully. I don't know why it was that hard to come up with, but
yeah.
I mean, I can see where you're...
Maybe it's when we, the audience, have more information than the characters, and thus we come to conclusions faster than they do. And we're like, but why aren't they, as smart as me, the viewer? How am I outsmarting them?
There's a line they have to toe in writing where they can give us the answers and they can dole them out to the characters, but they have to do it in a way that makes us not beat our heads against the wall.
Yeah.
This may be one of those moments where they just took a little too much time to get there.
And maybe they showed the audience too much. Maybe if they didn't show us enough, we wouldn't have all the clues and we wouldn't get there faster than the agents do. So maybe that's the failing. But otherwise, I quite like it. Yeah. Did you have more final thoughts? Or
no, I did enjoy this episode. I do think it's one of season 7's better ones. It's definitely a moodier episode along the lines of, say, Thief. So I do appreciate that. And again, Tobin Bell, excellent actor. Great choice for this role because he's got that voice. Definitely a smoker's voice. Whether or not he does, I don't know. But great voice, great character, and just creepy. I think he sells that very well. And I'm sure this helped him get Jigsaw in some aspect.
Probably did, yeah. Well, Mike, it looks like we've hit the last drag on this topic. Yeah. And I'm guessing that's our cue to let this burn out.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to stub this out before it gets stale.
Stub it out, yep. We're talking, ladies and gentlemen, like we know what it's like to be smokers, and we have no idea. But anyone who smokes, please leave us comments as how you felt when you watched this episode. If you are a smoker or were a smoker, I would love to know.
Did it speak to you?
Yeah. All right. Well, Andrew, as we do, this episode is over. So if you would like to have the final word, please do so.
I would only say, lovely listeners, that the media would have you believe that smoking is bad for you. But in certain cases, apparently, it could, like doctors in the 50s said, preserve your health. So just choose your moments wisely and save up for a pack of cigarettes, because I gather they are exorbitantly expensive. So only the rich will survive in the tobacco beetle infestation of 2026. So with that, have a lovely evening.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you liked what you heard, please rate and review on your podcast app of choice. Andrew and I would be eternally grateful to you fine people. for helping us expand and get the word out. Also, we've got a killer group on Facebook. Feel free to join in on the discussion at facebook.com/groups/thisisnothappeningpod and become an official member of the syndicate. We do polls and we have questions for every episode to give you guys the opportunity to chime in and possibly let your voice be heard on our recordings. And please join us on our new Twitter at tinhxfilepod, no dash, to stay up to date on everything, moment to moment. Thank you, and remember, don't stop swimming.